There we go. There's Craig. All right, folks, this is the July 2022 meeting of Awaken the North. We have a whole plethora of folks joining us this evening. The only three chancellors who are currently not present are David, who is excused, Storm, who we're waiting to hear from, and Russ, who should be along shortly from what he has said. Other than that, we've got a full roster here of chancellors and a whole bunch of chairs, and a special guest this evening of our Council of Elders through Saga Erickson. So, how's everyone doing tonight?
Wonderful, thank you.
Good night.
Awesome. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 14, 13 folks in attendance this evening. So I think that's actually the largest council meeting we've had today, isn't it?
I'm only seeing 11. Oh, there's 2 more down there.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and dive straight into it since we've got a lot to go over tonight. We're going to begin our evening picking on the beautiful Callista.
How did I know you were going to do that?
Because you're alphabetically the first.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I don't have a whole lot to report other than Dan has become my chair and he is doing an amazing job. He is right on top of this stuff. Like, it's just, I can't even keep up with him, which is great. That's what I want. So, thank you, Dan. You're doing a phenomenal job. I have finished the draft of the social media posting guidelines. However, it's handwritten, so I'll be typing that up in the next couple of days and sending that to probably you, Casey. Or who are you pointing at?
I don't know who your layout is. That's Galaxy on my screen.
Oh, okay. I was
I was laughing at
you're over there.
It's like a Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
We've got Galaxy beside me. Mike is down to the corner. Saga's directly beneath me. I'm up in the very top corner. So on my screen, anyhow. I don't know how you guys are laid out. Cousin It is 2 over to the left. Is that what? Oh, wait, no, that's Becca. Okay, never mind. But no, there you go. For those listening who don't have the pleasure of seeing, Becca has her hair completely loose, and it is doing an amazing Cousin It impression. Bill, of course, doesn't have to play with his hair. He looks like Cousin It anyway. But to reiterate what Callista was saying, Dan, unmute yourself for a second and say hi.
How's it going, everyone?
It's Dan. For everybody listening, all of the posts that you are seeing across all of the socials, everything that's coming from Awaken the North for the most part, is because of Dan. Everything that I put together, I pop into our PR chat and say, hey, Dan, will you post this? And he is usually right on top of it and spamming it across everything, doing an awesome job, like Callista said. So I just wanted to reiterate that she's not just saying it because she's his boss. It's actually true. He is doing awesome, and we appreciate the heck out of you. All right,
Yes.
sorry, Callista, go ahead.
No, you're good. As far as other COPA-related things go, I want to make a request of everyone to keep an eye out on our social media, specifically in the members group and in the Discord, for people that have a very, who are active a lot on the social media, and seem to be, it's gonna sound weird, big into memes. I'm trying to get some people together so that we can actually start putting out content. Not just the TikToks and the videos are amazing. They're great content. But we need some static content as well. So keep an eye out for people. If you see someone who's super active, seems to have a knack for that sort of thing, let me know who they are so I can tap them. And if you're listening to this and you think you're that person, let me know. Send me a message. You can find me on the Discord or the Facebooks or the Insta, or just email me. Emails are listed on the website. I think that's all I've got for the COPA side. For editor-in-chief, looking at the 15th of September for the next newsletter. So I'll put out a call for submissions for that very soon. I've already gotten Galaxies. She's on the ball as usual with it. Yes. Um, yeah, that's all I've got written down here. So,
What do you?
Patreon plugs. We need to get more eyes on the Patreon. So if anybody has any ideas for how to boost that, I will gladly take them.
What is
Yes,
your
Becca.
deadline for submissions? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Probably gonna be let me look at my calendar. It'll be the week before I usually cut them off. Hang on.
September the 7th.
Yes, it'll be the 7th. So that will be the deadline, and like I said, I'll put a call out here soon for that. Bex, you had your hand up.
Sorry, I'm
Oh, you're
trying to
good.
juggle this psycho here. Have we thought about, and it's just a suggestion, you can yay or nay, but it just popped into my head. Are you talking about specifically, before I suggest this, are you saying like people joining the Patreon and how we can get more people to join the Patreon?
Well, that, but how we can like get the word out about it before that, because like they have to know about it to join. So, and I feel like we don't have a whole lot of I don't want to say advertisement, but a whole lot of like exposure for it. So,
Well, yeah, Beast had asked me to do a loot box reveal, and I had squirrelfish
yeah.
training. Didn't do it. He asked me like 3 times to do it, and I was like, yeah, I'll get it. And then I dropped the ball. So the next time it happens, I will personally volunteer and actually go through that, and I'll have Heather remind me to go through and just like, hey, this is what it is. Look at this cool thing. And
Yeah.
just went, nope, no.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, and emphasize, because I think there's bloats that go in there. So I'll emphasize that, because yes, the stuff is cool, but it is an educational
Right.
thing to. So before, like, I go and look at all the cool stuff.
What?
Like, I'll emphasize that, because when it does come down to it, it is very educational, and I use them when I do formal bloats. So
I'm in a council meeting thing. So yes,
Hello, Sven.
where was it?
Sunday night, what came into my mind, rather than this life, it was Sunday night, time for Disney and go to bed early for school.
I'll edit this all out later.
Okay. No worries. Yeah, I think the loot box unboxing would be a great idea. I was gonna do one this last time, but mine was not whole, so that kind of fell through. But yeah, I think that's a great idea, because it gives people like they can see what they're getting, but they also can see that it's not just a box of cool stuff. Like it's like there is some really cool stuff, but it's not just about that. Like you get the tools you need to kind of help in your practice. And I mean, you don't need them to practice, but it helps. So,
I'm also changing the way things are doing with the loot box next time, and
Okay.
you'll find it a lot better.
Okay.
So, it's a learning process as we go. So, Yep, I'm excited for the next one. It'll be pretty dang awesome. So,
all right.
Yep. So, anything else exciting from your world to discuss?
I don't really have anything exciting other than that. Well, Ray got me a new computer, and that's just amazing. Like it's helping with so much. For instance, I'm not lagging during this meeting, which is great. I can actually hear people when they speak. So yeah.
Pretty damn cool. So
Yep.
I know you've been really excited with it and playing with it a lot. So,
Yeah.
Yep. So that's neat. All right, awesome. Well, as usual, as always, I know I don't say it enough, But we do appreciate the heck out of you. You're always working hard on something, and that is just amazing how you do everything that you do without losing your brain more than you have.
That would require having some to lose. So
Yeah, well,
yeah,
true. But we love you anyway, and we're damn glad to have you. So
I'm glad to be here.
all right, let's go ahead and move on to our next. Jay, you are filling in for Carla this evening.
Yeah.
So since you are the next in alphabetical order on the list, let's go ahead and hear it.
So we are we just finished putting together a a group of resources for the LGBT community.
That is a long freaking list too.
I'm sorry?
That is a long list too.
It is. I actually dug deep on that one a little bit. I did find some for LGBT military folks too.
Awesome.
Which was that was fun. So we will be sharing those, I promise. And we are also looking into different ways we could potentially do events for our LGBT friends.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna do a vibe night where we do. I'm gonna put together a music playlist of LGBT icons and LGBT artists. So you can still do what you want to go do, but we have some really cool music in the background, so we can just hang out and chill. And then we're working on some other stuff for Bisexual Awareness Week, which is coming up in October.
Right.
So and all that stuff.
Sweet. I know you guys have always been busy. Every time I talk to you, you guys are busy doing something.
Yeah.
Yep. And real quick, for the record, say who you are and what you do.
I'm pick me up apparently. Oliver. I am Jay. I am the chair of the. Have the hardest time pronouncing that.
Regnabui 8.
That. I'm relatively new, so and I'm actually having a blast looking up LGBT history and putting stuff together for it.
Awesome. All right. Well, we appreciate the stuffings out of you. We got that list you sent to Galaxy, and Galaxy sent to me, and I looked at it and went, "Holy crap, this is huge!" So yeah, I'm going to be working on adding those to the Regnabui 8 section of the website here shortly, and hopefully we'll have more resources for our Rainbow Plan here quick. All right. And Carla, if you're listening to this, we're sad that you weren't able to make it this evening. But we will see you soon once you get feeling better, hopefully.
Just to pop in real quick, if it's possible, once you get that list up on the website, let me know so we can work up an announcement.
Sure. Yep, most definitely.
Yep.
All right, Jay, anything else you'd like to discuss?
That was it.
Yeah, how you enjoying being an emissary?
It's fun. Unfortunately, I had that really bad asthma attack on Sunday, so I was actually at urgent care trying to get all that squared away, so I had to cancel my event. But did just book some stuff at our local library here in Clinton Township to do some indoor stuff.
Very
to
cool.
avoid health issues.
Yep, that'd be very cool. All right, look forward to hearing more about those as they come up.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, let's move on down the list. It is Becca's turn with her cat with the cone of shame. Can she mute herself?
Hi, Becca. If I don't die first from this thing attacking everything else. I'm Becca. I'm the comms. My chair is actually here to see how everything runs. Her name is Rachel. So in case in case I can't step in one day, she knows how it runs. She knows how the formalities are. She gets kind of an idea of how things go when we have meetings.
Hey, Rachel.
So,
Hello.
this is sorry. I'm sorry. So, I just approved a card. I can't seem to find them. I don't know what their pronouns are, but I can't seem to find them on the Book of Faces to add them to the Ufadnar group. So that's something I do. We recently, my whole committee and I painstakingly have been looking for resources because mental health is it's a big problem in the country as a whole, not just for the military, but it's a struggle in the military for various reasons. So my team and I painstakingly tried to find as many resources as we could feasibly that were a resource in the event that sorry sorry, maybe I shouldn't have named her Lilith, but we did, so here we are. That there isn't just one avenue to get accomplished what you need accomplished, and sometimes in the military it can be very hard, and we can have a lot of roadblocks and face a lot of stalemates. So in doing so, there's a ton of information out there and different avenues that you can take, whether you want to go through a military channel or you don't, because it is widely known that you don't have to go through that. You can go through different avenues that offer assistance with mental health. So we have sent we sent Beast and Galaxy a list of I don't know how many different places and avenues that somebody could go if they needed to seek help for mental health. So while some of them are better than others, depending on what you need, you may want to use some versus others. There are avenues, there are ways to get them done. I don't know how you're going to edit this out, Beast. I'm really sorry.
I'm not gonna.
Oh, fair enough. So there's those, and then what we also tried to do was kind of come up with, and this is a little bit harder because of the terms and the way that you're supposed to go through your chain of command for help with housing. So what we have to do.
Real quick, pause, time out. For those who are listening and not not able to actually see what's going on, Becca has this cat that is in a cone of shame and is completely enthralled with the camera. We see Becca for about 2 seconds, and then we see this adorable black cat face just take up the entire camera as it comes to check out the stream.
Come here.
I'm not editing this. I'm leaving this in. Saving it for posterity. So anyway,
can I finish? Can I do this? So we wanted to come up with a standard kind of, hey, here's the avenue y'all should go if you're new to a command and you're having trouble getting housing, because there are different situations that arise. So what we tried to figure out was, hey, what's as basic and generic as we can go without sending people to the wrong place. So that's what we came up with. We sent something to Galaxy, and what we were trying to do was go through every branch and be like, hey, do you have this person in the Navy? We have an ombudsman. Do you have this in the Coast Guard and the Marines and the Air Force? And the Space Force is under the Air Force, so they kind of fall under the same kind of ordeal, especially with instructions. So basically what we came up with was just a list, again, of, hey, if this isn't working when you check in, here are the next steps that you should take to try and get help with housing. So my email's been wonky. I don't know, Galaxy, if you got it or not, but I did send it out to you. Okay, awesome. Yeah. So there's that. And then We're working on something else right now, which is kind of going to be like a little like surprise. It's not like big and fireworks, but it's something that I think we're going to have a lot of fun doing aside from just like, acknowledging certain days in history, which we've been doing a lot as well. I think it was Buffalo, the national, no, I think the most recent one was the Korean Veterans Armistice Day, or the national, sorry, my brain's going
Buffalo
at.
Soldiers was the last one.
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to say, I know something was, there's so many dates that we're trying to keep up with. But this one I think is going to be a nice little sideways thing. Still military related, but it'll be fun. I think it's going to be a little bit more fun than just doing our regular research into certain days. So, and I think everyone's going to enjoy it. So that's what we have going on. Yes, I know. Thank you, Lilith. That's it.
Okay. All right. Well, I know you guys have been working hard a lot recently. There's been a lot of activity from the military team, and that is awesome to see. Is she okay?
We picked her up on a whim at a new moon market, which I didn't even want to go to, and it's not something that I really blasted, but I lost my familiar in February to cancer, and we picked her up. Yes, thank you. So we picked her up, and she just kind of went belly up, and she's been absolutely that's my ear. Thank you. Insane. So I guess she kind of chose us. So
All right. Well, I'm glad you've got a new familiar to work with, and it's good to see you smile with her. Good to see that she is making you happy.
It's Heather's turn when she gets home. She has attacked my bun 8 times today.
Well, it's a floppy bun, so you can't really blame her too much.
So sorry for the.
We appreciate all the work that you military folks have been doing. Rachel, you are one of the new chairs of military, and you've been working your tail off as well. And it shows. We all see this, and we all appreciate it. And we want to thank you all for all the hard work that you do.
Becca, did you see that they just the USS New York is on the water now? The one that they built using the Twin Tower steel?
I've been told that it was going to be soon, but I didn't know it actually was commissioned. And it's
very cool.
Good. It's about time.
Yeah.
We can talk offline.
Okay.
So moving right along. Next on the list, we have our Hydrate and Mike. Mike, who was muted. There he is.
Oh.
Hi, Mike.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mike, the Hydrating. The end of report.
You've had an eventful month this month, Mike. You've actually got to do stuff.
I actually have done quite a bit. We actually voted out a member earlier this week. That was kind of a sad thing, but it was a person that had not only caused problems within our group, but also we had evidence of him causing problems in another unrelated, unconnected group, but a local to one of our emissaries. So we've had to remove that member. Been a couple of timeouts given in Discord, a couple of reprimands, a couple of corrections of behaviors. Aside from that, I've also been working with Galaxy on making up the trainings for the Chancellor program. She'll probably talk about that more. The Chancellor trainings, all Chancellors. To get those out to each individual Chancellor so they can review it and we can work on getting that settled up. Mostly, I've been busy with my son being home on leave right now and back and forth to Memphis. And we just went a trip to St. Louis this weekend and haven't really done a whole lot with ATN except for when I get tagged into Discord.
You've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes too, though, so you've still been busy, and that's awesome. How's your new job?
We prefer it when I'm working behind the scenes and not having to do the other role.
Right. But you excel at both, and it's appreciated. You have a new job that you're doing now, too, at a new plant?
Same job, new plant.
Right.
Yeah, I just started. Well, I started at the beginning. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Well, as always, we are glad to have you on board. You've been one of the ones that's been here since the beginning, and you are part of the reason why Awaken the North is what it is today, and we appreciate the heck out of you. So,
Thank you.
let's move on next. Rachel of military, we've said hi to. Let's go to next chancellor is Sprinkle, who is now a chancellor. Were you chancellor at the last meeting as well, or is this your first meeting?
I voted in at the last meeting.
That's right. Yes.
So,
Yeah. So you've had an entire meeting's worth of time as a chancellor. Refresh everyone's brains as to what you're the chancellor of now.
I am Coma, Chancellor of Member Affairs. So I became Coma at our last meeting a month ago. And since then, I have a chair who's pretty awesome. That would be Blitz, who's with us tonight as well.
Blitz, say hello.
Good evening, everyone.
There he is.
Good evening.
We have been doing a lot of ushering in new members on the Discord and just finishing up some training to get him settled with all of the programs we use for our applications. We've been working on tracking system, if you will, kind of not so much. An area where we can keep things, if we've seen activity that's happened in Discord that our members have complained about or, not felt comfortable about, that we can have it ready for the council to review if needed for certain situations like we've had recently. I believe do we announce our numbers at each meeting?
Yes. Okay. That's why you do the forum pre-meeting, so that you have all those numbers available so that everyone can know what our growth is or growths are. Take a picture.
I'm not gonna lie, I pulled these numbers the other day for the other meeting. I did not pull these recently, so
it's close enough.
Hold on. Hey, teenager, I'm on a meeting.
I will say it will be a couple of numbers higher because I have had a couple of people approved in Facebook that I took care of over the last day or so.
Excellent. I did one too myself, so there are a couple. There's going to be a little variation, but not too much.
Sure. Close enough.
For our public Facebook page, we have 18,042. Our members public Facebook group, 1.9K. Our members Facebook group, we have 252. Our members on Discord, we have 577 humans, and members total would be 296 official members. Guests on Discord, 128. TikTok followers, we have 6,513. On Twitter, we have 4,764. On Instagram, our followers are 830. We need to boost our Instagram. YouTube, we've got 166. We've now started putting Suzanne's reading every month, and book club is now putting there, right? Book club hasn't gotten there yet? No.
Book club is up. The one that I posted of Suzanne's today was a clip as a teaser for
That's
Suzanne's.
right.
Suzanne's, the entire thing of the Sunday afternoons with Suzanne will not be posted for general public on Facebook or on YouTube. The one that was up today was a preview trailer kind of thing to let folks know what they're missing.
So YouTube ideas would be welcome too then.
Right.
We've got book club is going up every week for our weekly meetings right now. That started with this book.
Yep.
Members on the ATN website, we have 324. 324, sorry, I should enunciate. New member applications that were approved, 46. We had 2 declined applications. And then as far as what's been new and going on, I kind of touched on already. We have new coma, new chair. I am working on learning the bots better for our programs because I can get messages out there better that need to be posted more often, reminding people where to go to get their guest tag, reminding people where to go to get their roles, things like that. Working on getting more posts out in our social medias, but also I'm trying to do more networking myself to get into more groups, to get more posts out to other places to try to get our membership numbers up a little bit. Since my last role helping Calista out in public relations and our PR team there, we have blasted a lot of join our team, fill out the application, come check Awaken the North out and all of our learning resources to our social medias. Everybody following us knows it's time to hit other places. So if you have any other ideas, that's would be welcome to me as well.
Awesome.
I don't think we have anything else going on.
Sweet. Well, I know you two have been working your tail off. Every time I get in there, there's always something new from you guys in the planning center. And I look forward to seeing what kind of cool things you're going to do from here on out. Blitz, I do need to get with you later about the book club recordings. If you would remind me tomorrow or sometime off the meeting, I want to talk with you about that. But I know the book club has been blowing up as well. You guys have gotten a lot new members in there participating. That's awesome to see. I try to make it when I can, but you guys don't even need me there. You guys are just awesome.
There's 3 of us that have really been primary in there. That would be myself, Blitz, and Matt Wodenson. He's got a new name on Discord right now, but he's one of our mods as well. And we run that through the emissary program, so I need to make sure I'm getting in there more regularly and doing that paperwork more. But
right.
It's been a lot of fun. We have our watch party coming up. So
yeah, next week is the watch party for what?
Firefly.
Episode 2 of Firefly. Yep. I look forward to it. It'll be fun.
Me too.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much for all that you do. You've hit this new role running, and it's been impressive to see you doing all you do. I knew you'd be a good fit.
Thank you.
That is a big bug. I don't know what the heck that is, but it's kind of freaky looking. Anyway, sorry. I have a visitor, and it's kind of creepy looking. Anyway, moving on, we have Saul. Saul is the new Chancellor of the Emissary Program. How you doing, Saul?
Good. I'm good.
You got your report ready for us?
I do. So just catching up on everything that was left behind, of course. We've got 2 new emissaries, 2 new prospects possibly coming soon. Other than that, just catching up on all the paperwork and learning the ins and outs. We had a couple events last month. Meet and greets. Momo's, Heather's, and mine. Mine didn't go so well. only one person showed up. Heather's went pretty good, from what I understand, and so did most. Other than that, like I said, just catching up on everything and learning the ropes.
One showing is one more than what we had before, right?
Sure.
So with the events, like I said, it's not so much how many attend, it's the fact that you're out there putting yourself out there. Once word grows, it'll happen. Folks will show up.
Yeah.
So it always takes a few to get the word out there and get the wheels running smoothly. So you're good. I'm just proud as hell of all of y'all for putting yourselves out there and doing it. I've done the emissary program myself with other organizations, and I know how getting out there and actually doing can be. So Mike can attest to that as well. That the fact that you're actually going out there and doing it is amazing, and we appreciate all the hard work you guys are doing for that as well. So I have been proud as hell of you, the way you've kind of hit the ground running as you've taken over as new chancellor. There's a lot of stuff to do as chancellor emissaries.
Yes, there is.
And you've been really good at just assimilating everything and taking it all in and doing what you're supposed to be doing. And it's really cool to see.
Thank you.
So I'm really glad that you're fitting in there so well and that it's off my plate. So that is good there. Let's see. I believe that is all the chancellors who are present. Let's have a quick round robin of hellos and introductions from all of the chairs who are here. Because we have quite a few chairs here today. Blitz, go ahead and unmute and say hello and introduce yourself real quick.
Hey, my name is Blitz. I've been with Awaken the North for about 5 going on 6 months now. I joined the emissary team, and I was lucky enough to be elected as Sprinkle's chair of member affairs.
Awesome. J Ray, I know you introduced yourself a little bit earlier, but let's have it.
Again, I'm Jay. I am the chancellor of the Dragon Blue 8. It's gonna take me a minute. I've been with Awaken the North since beginning of May, so a couple of months now. Became an emissary, and then Carla asked me to be her chair, and I have been loving every minute of it.
Awesome. And let's go with Rachel with military services with an adorable baby.
Hey, I'm Rachel. I've been with Awaken the North since I think mid-May. I'm prior Navy, and I'm loving literally every minute of being on the in Awaken the North and working and helping out with military services. Just because I didn't have the resources that we are trying to get for you guys. So if I had those resources, it definitely would have helped. And I think me being able to help out with that is very, very rewarding.
Awesome. And that's exactly why I want to do those resources, so that we can help the folks that need the help with it. We're going to skip over the other Rachel for just a second and hop down to Danny real quick.
I'm Dan. I've been with Awaken the North for about a year now. I want to say it came in last June. And I probably spend more time in the ATN Discord than I do interacting with real people or people in my own life here. So there's that. Loving working as chair of public affairs and looking forward to working more with you guys.
Right. And what is your actual job in real life?
I work as a camp ranger at a local scout camp.
What's your other job?
Classified.
That's an internship. It's if I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Yeah.
And then
for the record, we've already verified the fact that he is not working on the raccoons for Raccoon City, right?
That is correct.
Mom's the word. Your secret's safe with us.
Come back to me next month, and I can actually tell you guys what it is once it's been cleared for release.
Awesome. That brings us to the last chair who's present, Rachel, who is our chair of merchants. And the reason I saved you for last is because you have an actual report for us.
Hello there. I'm Rachel, the chair of merchants. I've been with Awaken the North for, since April. We haven't had any new merchants, but I have been working hard on the auction that's coming up. We have 8 people that are willing to donate towards the auction. I've also been working on loot boxes and reminding them about loot boxes going out. I've said all of those are due September 1st. I think that's it.
Awesome.
But we've got some great donations. Like we've got a wall hanging from Burnished Raven, his and her t-shirts from Bohemian Elephant. The Witch Shop is donating some tea and trolldom incense and mugs. And we've got Saga, the wonderful Saga, with her illustration of Yggdrasil, which I can't wait to see it. Galaxy has a secret one, which I'm not going to tell you about yet. It's really secret, but it's going to be wonderful. Then we've got some bone readings from Mystical Awakenings. I haven't decided what I'm doing yet, but it will be amazing, I promise. And then we've got Rachel Seymour with a donation of a herbal bath set. So we've got a lot of stuff for the auction.
Very cool. All right. Awesome. So that concludes that part. Let's go ahead and say hello real quick to the lovely Saga. Saga Erickson is one of our Council of Elders. She is one that you can go to if you have questions, concerns, need assistance, need direction, need just someone to talk to. She is an awesome lady who I've been honored to call friend for many years. And I was very pleased when she decided to join us over here at Awaken the North. So Saga, why don't you say hello and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Saga Erickson. I have no idea how long I've been part of Awaken the North because I haven't been paying real close attention. I am 30-some years on my path, and I'm just shy of turning 59. So it's been a really fantastic spiritual ride. I'm a Norse animist, a heathen hedge witch, and vulva, as well as a multimedia artisan. And I've had the pleasure of working with Casey before through another organization that was quite the learning experience. So anyhow, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Pardon?
That's a polite way of putting it, yes.
Well, I try to be polite. It doesn't always work, but I do try. But yeah, I am thrilled to be here and learn more about the operations, because I've been kind of in the shadows for the last couple of years, kind of working on some of my arts. I work a lot with one of the other Council of Elder people, Kurt Hoekstraat. He's my bestie, so we do an awful lot of work together. So anyhow, thank you for having me here.
Now, before you go,
yes,
you are also one of our featured merchants.
Yes.
Go ahead and give a shameless plug for your business there.
Sure. My business is Starkraven Studios. I am a lifelong multimedia artist. My primary work are Norse illustrations. I'm doing what I can to keep our lore alive for the next generations through my artwork, my storytelling, as well as helping coach people along the way. I'm also a fiber artist, so I make a lot of Sathe cloaks. I make a lot of I'm starting to develop safe masks. I believe I talked to Rachel Myers about that a couple of months ago. I'm just about ready to start putting one together. I'm on the tail end of another cloak that I do hand weaving for my cloaks, and have been working on like Viking era tablet weaving to put on my cloaks. I also make brooms. Um, I I dabble in a lot of things, everything from portraits, illustrations, sewing, weaving, making brooms. And my husband is a blacksmith and rustic furniture maker. So yeah, that's what I do. I'm an artist. And
If you haven't had a chance to check out her things, burnishravenstudios.com, is that right?
my website is currently down right now because I am overwhelmed with work. So that's another reason you don't see much of me. I have more commissions coming in than I can handle at times. I will be having a TED Talk coming up in the next few months on living sustainably, because that's part of the things that my husband and I do as artists, is we are running a sustainability experiment that we're into year 15 of putting this experiment together, and we combine this with our arts so that as much as possible, even our arts are done very deliberately to be as sustainable as we can possibly make them.
Very cool. And as an owner or co-owner, I guess, I bought one of your brooms for my wife a couple years ago from her, and she loves it. It is an amazingly beautiful piece. It hangs on the wall when it's not being used next to our apothecary. So if you ever have a chance to check out her work, definitely do so. She does amazing things. And as always, we are...
Laurel's broom was actually just featured in a summer-long art show up here where I did a presentation yesterday for the town that I live closest to. There's a summer-long art show, and Laurel's broom was actually the feature for the start of my presentation.
Very cool. I'll have to let her know that. She'll be excited for that. Yep. All right. Well, we do appreciate you being here and being available for the members. Like I said, Saga Erickson, you can reach her on the Discord or on the Facebook. She is one of our Council of Elders and is more than willing to talk and help and be a listening ear. We do have another of our Council of Elders here this evening, Mr. Sven. If you want to talk to grumpy old men, then he's definitely the one to talk to. Sven is another awesome fellow who I've known for years. He is older than I am, even older than Galaxy. So, yeah.
Yeah, I started the path in the late 50s.
Yep.
Wow.
He has more knowledge that he has forgotten than I hope to ever know to begin with. So he is an amazing fella. If you ever get a chance to talk with him, you can find him on Discord. You can find him on Facebook.
And
Sven,
you can find me, you can find me on email at vikingjarl@gmail.com too. It was one of the alpha test accounts that was created because one of the guys who was writing the code for it was a friend of mine. So as part of their test, he gave me that one because I used to host a living history encampment teaching various period skills. Now that I'm retired or something like that, I do cartography art cartography for various publishers, mostly game publishers. And I paint my miniatures, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of games like RuneQuest or Call of Cthulhu. I'm one of the writers of those. Steve Perrin, till his dying day, actually 4 days before he passed, called me up and called me Mr. Resistance Table, because that's what I wrote, because his wife couldn't do math to save her soul. And so that's what I do. I'm also, August is going to be a hairy month for me because I do the Washington Midsummer Ren Fair, and we teach historical European martial arts. So it's a matter for me. My biggest part of it is smacking down neo-Nazis and drunks, which are often the same thing, unfortunately. And you come into the fair, and we're in garb, and we're teaching period arts and crafts, but mostly the martial arts. Long sword, rapier. Not like SCA or Buhurt. We actually read the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, whatever century documents and study them and teach you all the things that we know, right? If you get into it. Yeah. I mean, Fiore, who is one of the 15th century writers that I like, among other things, he's got the attitude I can understand. He dedicates 7 verses on how to properly kick somebody in the nuts. When I fight, I fight to win. I fight dirty, unless it's for sport. Then I'm nice. But most importantly, I have a new member of the tribe here.
Aw.
This is Prakunas Blitzboten. Prakunas being the Lithuanian version of Thor, because his father was from Lithuania, and Blitzboten meaning lightning paws, which he is, except right now he's kind of sleepy.
Well, he is adorable.
Yes.
So, yeah. And Sven, like I said, I've known you for years. I've loved you for years. I am very happy and proud that you are of our tribe here. And if anyone needs to contact you, they're more than able to contact you and talk with you anytime about stuff. I have just gotten an email from Russ, our treasurer, with his pre-meeting report. Galaxy, did you get that as well?
I did.
Okay. All right.
By the way, for the boxes, in September, I may get a chance to. I want to cast some Thor's hammers for my cats, 2 little kittens, and
Aw.
I basically do sand casting, right? I cast it in green sand and all of that. So maybe I'll make up an extra one to send to the loot boxes.
That'd be awesome. I know most of our loot box folks, Becca's losing her mind saying yes.
Yes. Yes.
Most of our loot boxes, the owners have owners of their own and cats. So I know that would be appreciated by a lot of folks. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm also, because I also do ankle weaving and card weaving. I've also been learning Sami band weaving, rigid heddle band weaving. So maybe I'll toss in a collar for that as well.
Nice. That'd be awesome. Well, we do thank you for all your support and all your effort and everything that you do.
Yep. I mean, it's after fair season and all of that I'm doing. I'm going to be stuck down for a while because I have surgery coming up. So I'll be on my arse, so I'll have to do something to keep from going crazy.
Definitely. Well, let us know when that happens. We'll definitely light a candle for you and toss a prayer up to air for you for quick healing and back on your feet fast.
Thank you.
So, oh, look, there is a Russ. A Russ has appeared.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening, sir. You're actually just in time.
Fabulous. I was hoping it'd be more as close.
There you go. We have just finished up with the introductions of the rest of our Council of Elders, with the exception of Kurt, who's not able to make it. But real quick, as well as being our treasurer, you too are on our Council of Elders because you are a wise man who knows things. I've had the great pleasure of calling you a friend for a couple of years now, and you're just like the other. Your knowledge is far vaster than mine could ever hope to be. And I know you're an amazing asset to Awaken the North. If you would go ahead and just introduce yourself real quick.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Russ. I also answer by pretty much anything else. I have red hair. It's good to meet you all. And for those of you I met before, it is good to see you all again. And I live in the woods.
Most definitely. All right, everybody else has been showing off their furry friends. Is yours around, or is he off playing with squirrels?
See if I can get him in picture here.
There he is.
Look at the camera. There we go.
Don't be camera shy. Look at that face.
Okay.
Awesome. So what report do you have from us from the treasurer side of things?
Alrighty. Kicking things off. Put back over. All right. June, we had a net gain of $27.11, which is quite a bit better than the net loss by $138 last month. Patreon for June was 387.87, up a little bit from 348.19 in May. July is dropping a little bit down to 370.03, so about looks like probably one member left. Store sales, $78.73. Not too bad. Next month, July, is actually a couple $100, so very good. Year to date, we are at a net gain of 25 cents. Yes, folks, you heard that correct. We've made a quarter, which is not bad actually. We're not losing money, so that's a good year. Patreon donations, we covered that at 387. How are we doing compared to the forecast? Not bad actually. We'd forecast $673.95 in revenue and $653.97 in expense. We came in higher on both $762.68 revenue is $735.57 expense. But more importantly, we'd estimated we'd gain about $20, and we had a net gain of $27.11. So we actually did quite close to what we're expecting to be. Rachel can provide all the fabulous Patreon stuff that I don't quite see anymore. Going forward, you'll all probably see a lot less of me on all the socials. That's not really my thing, though you're all welcome to text me on my personal cell or call me. If you don't have my cell, let me know. I will give it to you. And Becca, if you are on, let me flip back to the actual chat with two people. All right. Becca, congratulations. You're my proxy voter, and you're also on mute.
What am I proxy of voting for who?
For me.
For what?
What Russ and I have come to the agreement of, and I love the hell out of him for it. Russ is going to be stepping away from social media.
Okay.
He will still be a chancellor. He will still be a member of the board. He will still be our treasurer. Still be taking care of all the money side of things. But the day-to-day activities, the random voting, things like that, he's going to step down from. And I asked him to pick a chancellor to have his proxy vote, and he chose you. So
Okay.
you will have 2 votes on things that require chancellor votes in future.
So here's my only question. I have no problem doing that, but is there a way for me to communicate with Russ to confirm if he's...
Yeah, you can totally text me on my cell or call me.
I'm going to have Russ's phone number, y'all.
Woo!
All right. I will not say my phone number in the middle of a meeting because that might reveal some funny stuff. But I will message you my phone number.
Absolutely.
I'd like to see the outcome of that.
It might be interesting. I'm tempted just for hilarity's sake.
All those thirsty members who are after that red hair of yours.
It's the hair. I thought it was the sarongs.
A little bit of both.
I got really cool tattoos. This is fun. And you can't see us in the recording, but this one is fun. My favorite new tattoo. Good advice. Live deliciously. You'll have a way more fun life.
Exactly.
Nice.
Now, to clarify and reiterate, Russ is not stepping away as treasurer. Russ will remain as treasurer. He's just stepping back as his involvement in the social medias, which is totally acceptable and understandable. And we still love the stuffing out of you.
Thank you kindly, Geese.
Alrighty. That covers everybody, and we are pretty much good. So I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to a close, and we'll see you all next month.
So I thought the meeting started at 6. Did it start at 5 Pacific time?
5 Pacific time. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Beast, I have a list of things to go over.
What's that? I'm sorry, you're breaking up. I'm going through a tunnel.
You just don't want to know what is on the other end of this list, do you?
Oh, I know the list. I know how extensive it is. That's why I was trying to sneak out quietly, but no. You won't allow me to do that because you're a good ass assistant.
It is my job as your assistant to keep us on track.
Yep, and you do an amazing job at it too. I know I tease you and pick on you a lot, but you know I love you. That's why
All
I
the
do.
time.
You're
All
the
the
one who keeps
time.
me sane and keeps me on track and doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. For the most part. You try at least. So,
I try.
all right, my dear. For those who don't know, this is Lady Galaxy. She is the scribe of Awaken the North. Let's go ahead and do your scribe report first, and then we'll get into the rest of it.
From the desk of the scribe. I want to thank those of you who've gotten your history project stuff to me. We got our first history post out, and I did it on the Hydriton. So thank you, Mike, for letting me plagiarize most of what you wrote and come up with a really nice blog report. I think you'll notice that there's been a lot more activity on the blog. I've taken some of that, and Beast has been very active as well. We're also working on a monthly rune post. That was a suggestion that came to us. And Mike mentioned we're working on all the updates on the keeping the bylaws up to date and the training up to date. And otherwise, all of that is going well.
Awesome. Yeah, the blog is found on the website, awakenthenorth.org. Right there on the top menu says blog. You can click on it. You'll see all the different sections that we have. There are many different sections. Some are fun, some are informative, some are funny. Some deal with the history of the Awaken the North. Some deal with the just the archaeological finds that I find reported across the net, which are always interesting to me. I'm sure it'll probably put the rest of you to sleep, but I like learning about it. So we have a separate deal there. We also have a separate section on gods and goddesses where I post different studies I've done for individual gods and goddesses. There are more to come. I'm just trying to space them out some so that's not flooding everybody all at once and then we run out of content. So it's fun stuff there. As my assistant, what we got?
We had when I first started, which was just over a year ago now, was a weekly schedule. And that went all to heck and back. So currently we have a Saturday or Sunday, depending on life, Spotlight with Sprinkle. We have a Thursday Show Me Your Hammer post with Becca and a Friday Merchant post with Rachel. I have notes from way back when that our lovely Callista was going to do a project highlight once a month. Callista, are you with us? I see your blue light. You're muted. And also, we were going to do just a Chancellor of Public Affairs post once in a while.
Right. On Sundays.
Sundays. Right.
Is that something we can get back to, Calista?
Yeah, we can do that.
Awesome.
I don't have a day for Storm. She was Thursdays. Not Thursdays. No, that was always Becca.
Yep. Storm was Fridays for the BIPOC Affairs. Now that we have Um, now that we have,
Rachel.
Sorry, lost my train of thought. Yeah, now that we have the merchants post on Fridays, we can move Storm to a different day. Let's get with them and find out what day works best for them.
Okay.
And get them back on track with the weekly postings there.
And so Monday and Tuesday are days we could really use posts.
Who did we originally have on? No, Merchant was originally on Monday. That's moved to Friday.
Merchant was Mondays, right?
Let's see if maybe we can get Storm to take over Mondays instead.
All right. And
Who
I
did
will
we
get
have
with
assigned to Tuesdays? We had someone assigned to Tuesdays.
I don't have that on the original notes. I was let me get back. Get back. All the notes. Where'd you go? Show all notes.
We could do a tier Tuesday with the Hydriton.
Oh, look. Somebody just wanted to volunteer. I'm not going to argue with that. Tuesday used to be Council Spotlight with Sarah. That's where it is.
Okay, yeah.
I like this new idea.
That's kind of been taken over with Sprinkle and her spotlights. So let's go ahead and stick Mike in there for Tuesdays, for Tiers Tuesdays with the Hydriton.
Beautiful.
Do we have anything on Wednesdays?
We do not have a Wednesday at the moment.
Hey, Bill. How are you?
Good. I knew you were going to call me, and I have an idea.
Awesome. What's your idea?
Odin for Wednesday, of course.
Okay. That's cool, but I have a different idea.
Okay.
How about, and you can get with Sprinkle and kind of compare notes, and she can give you some guidelines and some ideas. How about an emissary showcase on Wednesdays? Pick an emissary and
That
showcase.
was where we're going next with the spotlights.
Oh, is that where we're going with spotlights?
That's my spotlights. My next. I'm almost done with the council. I was going emissaries next.
Okay, never mind.
There's my notes.
There you go.
Can we highlight the upcoming events of any kind?
That'd be a good idea. Wednesdays broadcast what upcoming events we have for the next couple weeks.
Can we do that?
Can we do that? Yeah. That would be awesome. That way, we'd also get more publicity out there of the events that are coming, and refresh people's brains as they're coming up. So that'll be awesome. Yeah.
I will get with Storm about Monday, and I will write this up for everyone and post it in our various chats tomorrow.
Sweet.
On to the next. Mr. Beast, you have been so hard at work, and I've had the honor of taking every single one of your courses so far. But we have some really great training programs and certificate courses up, and the chancellors are expected to take them. Yes. That's actually going to be in the training that the chancellors will take all courses. Do you want to talk about your lovely courses, Mr. Beast?
The courses are, of course, provided for free for the chancellors. They are half price for the chairs. As a leadership team of the international heathen community that we are, I feel that it is important for us to know what we're talking about. The certificate courses are not that in depth. They're not that cumbersome. The biggest one so far is the history of heathenry, and that's taking people an average of 3 days to get through. So it's not like the actual college courses where it's going to take you 3 months to do them. Once you get in there and start doing them, they're rather quick and easy to do. Callista, you've taken a couple of them, completed them, correct?
Yep.
Yep, they weren't that cumbersome, were they?
Well, I finished one. I'm working on the history of heathenry right now, but it's not that cumbersome.
How do you like them, though?
I love them. There's a lot of really great information there.
Awesome. Different members come to different chancellors with questions. It would be nice to be able to know how to answer those questions. This won't teach you everything about heathenry, of course, but it gives you a good foundation to be able to work off of. We so far have the Norse Cosmos, which is available. The History of Heathenry is available. Coming at tomorrow morning, in fact, is the new. Did I get that backwards? No, History of
No,
Heathenry.
you're on it.
Yeah, all right, I'm right. History of Heathenry was released this month. Tomorrow morning will be the release of the Intro to the Havamal, which is a really fun course. I really enjoyed writing that one. And then next month, for a sneak preview for you, I am currently working on finishing up the Norse Symbols and Fake Lore course, where we go through and discuss various different symbols that are actually of the Norse Viking era and those that folks believe today are but aren't. Troll Cross is mentioned, which was actually invented in the 1990s. It's not an old heathen symbol. The Vedvashur, which everyone and their brother gets tattooed on them, is not an old Viking symbol. It's from the 1800s, from the old manuscript. There's a bunch of different, we go through and delve into a bunch of different symbols and terminologies and just general beliefs that people have and discuss what is actually Old Norse and what is not. And that one's been a really to go through so far. One of the ones that I've gotten the most reaction out of is the actual official Viking symbol for berserkers. There's a logo that's running around that people believe is the actual Old Norse symbol for berserkers, which is actually from a Japanese manga comic book from the 1980s. The berserkers didn't have a bind rune or a symbol or anything like that. So it's fun watching people's eyes open and their first confusion and then bewilderment and then hilarity at finding out the true origins of many of the symbols that we all take for granted as being Viking symbols. So it's great fun. But the courses are available online, even at full price. They're only $10. Chancellors get them for free. Chairs get them for $5. General members, emissaries get them for 25% off. General members get them for $10. You can get the course for the $10 with an e-certificate that you can print out yourself. Or for an extra $5, I will print out a pretty shiny certificate, sign it myself, slap an actual foil embossed seal on it from Awaken the North, and mail it to you so you can frame it, make it pretty. People like frameable things. So we have those. Those are also a great way of helping to support Awaken the North. As with all the things I do, all the funds from these go straight to Awaken the North. I don't take a penny out of anything. So they are up and available and ready for you. The goal is to have a new one released once a month until the forms are done. Saga, did you have a question?
Nope. I'm just fidgeting.
There you go. That works. Awesome. What else we got?
On to the next, our new review form on the About Us page of the website.
We do have a new review form that has been spammed out to everybody. It is available for all of the chancellors of Awaken the North. You have the option, very first thing on the review form, as to whether you want it to be anonymous or not. If you want to gripe and complain, or if you want to say, hey, this one's doing an awesome job. We take all comments and remarks seriously. You can submit it as an anonymous member, or if you want to have the recognition for it, you can slap your name and email on there. We are hoping, as always, to get more good reviews than bad. But if there is a situation with one of our chancellors, we definitely want to know. And that includes me, too. I'm on there, too. So if you want to go on there anonymously and say how much of a jerk I am and how I look funny and smell bad, by all means, go on there and fill out the form and submit it. If you want to go on and say how much of an amazing job Russ is doing and how much you love his red hair, it's there available for you. Go on and do it. It's available for everybody. Doesn't matter who you are, not just chancellors, not just chairs. General populace is more than welcome to fill these out as well. They're on the website under the About Us section.
if I can add, they're great for suggestions too. We're getting a new room in Discord, or we have gotten a new room in Discord. We're going to be doing a monthly rune review, and that came off of this new review form. Somebody had some nice things to say and then a suggestion for what we're going to try out. So
Ever since I handed it off to her, Galaxy has been studious about posting the daily room in the Discord and on the blog, and it's been amazing. And we had a member ask if we could focus, as well as doing the daily runes, if we could spend time focusing on one rune and studying that rune in depth. So we went ahead and took that feedback and, like I said, created that special room for the monthly rune study. And that will begin here tomorrow, in fact, with the Down the Rabbit Hole on Fehu, which was written up by our lovely Callista. And that will be starting off tomorrow, I believe. Is that correct?
we were doing it 1 month after the release to the Patreon.
Right.
So is that tomorrow?
It was just released earlier.
Okay.
Week. So,
yeah, we want to give the Patreon some special time with it and any questions they have. And then we're going to move it on over to our monthly discussion.
Right.
And I'm actually really excited. I've gotten some one-on-one feedback from a few people, and Suzanne is offering some material as well.
Awesome.
And I am super excited to have Callista's help in this new project, even though she didn't know she was helping.
You told me yesterday,
Yeah.
I think so.
I asked permission. I saw that work, and I was like, you've done all this beautiful work. I think we should spread the love.
Like I said, it was made to be shared, so get it out
yes.
there.
Having said that, that brings us back around to the Patreon, and we need more content ideas.
Right.
One of the things that I know I've offered to do, which is part of the reason why my submission for the fundraiser is kind of secret right now, is because I'm going to offer some video of me painting for the Patreon. So they'll get the first sneak peek of that. And we need not just from our chancellors and chairs, but also from our members. If you are on the Patreon and you want to tell us what you think you might like to see, we could use some ideas.
Awesome. What else we got?
And we move on to a reminder to familiarize yourselves with the bylaws and the code of conduct. This is not for any one person. It's not for just the council. As a member of Awaken the North, you should be familiar with the bylaws and the code of conduct.
The bylaws and the code of conduct are something that we try to stick to as closely as we can here at Awaken the North. And unfortunately, here recently, there's been a few members who are no longer members of Awaken the North due to their not following the bylaws and COCs. It is something that we do enforce. That's why Mike has a job. We do not like enforcing it. We would much rather have everyone be able to be here and have fun and learn and grow. But there are some things that will require the removal of yourself from our organization. So if you haven't had a chance to look those over, they are available on the website under the About Us section. They are PDF downloads. You're more than welcome to download them and read them over and see what we stand for here.
Okay, we're up to good news. Just a couple little things to tell everyone, and then we can call it done.
Once we're done, then we're going to go ahead and pop over to the beautiful Storm, who has arrived.
I was just going to ask, do you want to jump over to her before the good news?
Well, Storm always has good news too, so it'll be a double hitter.
Cool. Well, let me just finish up then. Our member map is looking amazing, and that is thanks to Beast, also our Chancellor of Member Affairs, who's taking over the member map and adding as we go. You guys have some pretty cool news about that, right?
We've had a couple new friends who have joined us. When we say that we're an international organization, it's not just talk. Corey, where have we added some new friends lately?
Scotland and Denmark.
Ooh.
And there was another one on the other side I added before you took over real quick, but it was right there right when you did.
Oh, I can't remember that one. What was it again?
We have friends in Japan now as well.
That's right.
Yep. We have the members map is available on the website under the About Us, and when you log into the website, it's there on your landing page. And you will see that we literally have members in all 7 of the continents except for India. Yeah, everywhere else we've got members all across the world, and that is just amazing.
That is super exciting. And you guys have done a lot of really good work with that.
What's our other good news?
Last thing, a little over a month ago, we had some major changes in the world that really turned a lot of people upside down. Beast wrote a beautiful human rights declaration, and in less than 1 month's time, we've had over 100 signatures. So you can also find that on the website. I'm a proud signer, and so is my kindred. If you have not signed it, I highly recommend you read it. If you agree with it, you add your name in the comments and share it, please. You can find it on TikTok, on all our socials, however you interact. Sharing that will definitely at least let people know that we are still doing it. We're still working on it.
The Declaration of Human Rights is something that's near and dear to my heart. It is a protection of the human body, whether that be for reproduction rights or for the ability to marry whoever the hell you want to. Anything that you want to do with your human body is your right and should not have anyone else's fingers in it. We are currently working with a couple different organizations to ratify this and get the legal backing behind it to have it as a religious accommodation available for those who will need the protection when they run across these situations. It's not just us talking, we're actually working on making it a legally binding document that will provide the religious accommodations for those who should need it. Yeah, it's something I'm very proud of myself.
You should be. It's a beautiful piece of writing. And that's it. We have finished the agenda for July, with the exception of the lovely storm.
We always save the best for last, right?
Of course.
One thing to touch on real quick, though, there's been a lot, especially recently here, with the explosion of heathenry and Norse pagan groups on the social medias, on Facebook and Discord and all the others, TikTok having the special hashtags and such. There are a lot of groups out there that are social media clubs. They gather on Facebook, they gather on Discord, they gather on whichever platform they are on, and they pound on their keyboard and they talk about things, and that's as far as it goes. Which is great for them. That's what they want to do. That's amazing. They're good at doing that. Awaken the North, we are not just social media. We're not just a social club online. Our emissary program, one of the main goals for that is to help reach out to local communities and build local real life communities for heathens to get involved with each other and learn and grow from each other. Our kindred affiliation program is another way that we reach out by coordinating the different kindreds across the world to where they can discuss with each other and share ideas and reach out. Folks who are looking for real life connections can find them in their areas with the local kindreds that are affiliated. Our Gothar training program, which is getting a lot closer to completion, is made specifically for training people in the local areas to know their stuff and know how to represent the old gods and Awaken the North out in their community, not just by typing on a keyboard. We are not just a social club. We are not just a Facebook group. We are not just a Discord server. We put our money where our mouth is, and we go out into the populace, in the real human people, and try to help as much as we can outside of the computer. That's one of the things that sets us apart from some of the other groups that are out there. And a lot of folks don't seem to understand that yet. A lot of folks still think that we're just an online social club, and we're not. We do a whole lot more than that. So that's my little speech for that. Moving on, we do have the beautiful sibling of mine, Storm. How are you, darling?
I'm doing great. I hope everyone else is doing okay. Sorry for my lateness.
That's the important thing.
Yeah, I only have a couple things. So for August 9th, we are celebrating the International Day of the World's Indigenous Peoples. I kind of want to do something specific for it, but I'm not 100% married to the idea yet, so I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
And then the 23rd, we have the anniversary of the uprising in Haiti and the Dominican Republic. So I'll also be making a post for that. I'm also intending to start making posts weekly again. I've had a lot of upheaval recently, so I haven't been able to make my weekly posts like usual. But now that I'm starting to get into a more stable position, I'm starting to be able to make those posts again. So
Awesome.
I'll be doing that.
I'm going to interrupt you there for just a sec. We actually discussed that here a little bit ago. Would you mind moving that to Mondays?
She already
Absolutely.
they are already on it. We did that already.
Yep, absolutely. If anybody has any ideas for a subject you'd like me to talk about in a post or anything like that, please feel free to message me. I definitely do not know everything, and I'm sure other people hear things that I don't hear about. So please feel free to make this a collaborative thing.
Not expecting for tomorrow because of the short notice, but one thing that I personally would like to see a post about here soon, if I can make the request, we've discussed it several times in the past, it is an ongoing, ever-changing situation. We need to discuss more about Line 3.
Absolutely. There are a few other similar issues that we should be talking about as well. So I'll start making posts about that as well.
Awesome. Saga, actually.
Yeah.
Line 3 is right up in your neck of the woods, isn't it?
I know line 5 is.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure where line 3 is, but our indigenous water protectors and a lot of us other social and economic activists have been doing a lot of peaceful protest in that regard to, kind of halt these operations from taking over indigenous lands, from polluting the freshwater sources that affect a lot of our coastal indigenous communities up here by Lake Superior. So there's an awful lot of peaceful protest activity and ways for people to fight both Line 5 and Line 3 and all of the nasties that Enbridge is trying to force through the pristine Northwoods and even delve into Lake Superior. So there has been quite a bit of activity. In the meantime, we've got, signs going, support Line 5, support this, support that, in every right-leaning yard in this neck of the woods. So it's a frustrating battle.
Right. Definitely sounds like something perhaps you two should discuss together.
Okay.
Off the meeting, talk, compare notes, gather some information from Saga for your posts.
Absolutely.
I'll see what I can find.
Sounds great. Also, and while I'm on that subject, it's not just information I would like. If you guys hear about any upcoming protests or anything, please let me know so I can blast that for the local areas.
Right. We need to have those blasted in Shield Wall as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that room is for. So the only thing we have to be careful of, and I will give this disclaimer, this is not, in my views, this is not a political item. This is an environmental item that affects everybody regardless of your political leanings. As Awaken the North is a nonprofit organization through the federal government, we cannot be seen to endorse one politician over another or be involved in political factions in any way, shape, or form. This, however, and Russ can correct me if I'm wrong, this is not a political action. This is an environmental stance. Would that sound correct to you, Russ?
I would say yeah, with the big old caveat that walking a really, really, really fine line.
Right. As long as we don't toe over that line and tell people who to vote for or tell people who not to vote for and things like that, then we should be fine.
Right.
It's easy enough for me to do. I'm pretty good about tiptoeing around that line.
Me too.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much. Anything else you got to report?
Not off the top of my head. I think that was all I have.
There's one happy story that you have.
Happy story.
You shared with us in the chat yesterday, day before yesterday, about how happy he is now that surgery is done.
Yes. So we had a fairly exciting surgery. We had a very young puppy, about a week old, who needed his leg amputated. And I can't go into the super details, but his leg needed to go. He was unable to use it, and it was basically falling off of his body. But we were able to take it off, and he is thriving. I just met him yesterday, and he was very lively enough to scream at me when I took his bottle away. So he's doing great. And we're thinking he'll make a pretty full recovery and be a fairly normal dog, as far as Frenchies go.
And it is awesome and amazing that you're doing that wonderful work and able to improve the lives of our furry friends as well.
Oh, yeah. I love the furry babies.
All right. Well, I think that has been a check-in from everyone who is here. We've got everything that we need to discuss, correct, Galaxy?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Then I think I will finally end y'all's torture and officially, realistically, call the meeting to a close. I want to thank you all for joining us this evening. As always, it was a wonderful night of information. We appreciate the heck out of every single one of you. I know all of you work your tails off here at Awaken the North, and it is great that we are the organization that we are today. Becca took the Kona Shane off her new monster and is now going to pay the consequences for that. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to a close. Thank you all for joining. I'm going to go ahead and kick out Craig now, as soon as I remember how to do that, because they've changed and he has a new way here. So,
Just click